right? You know what we do. They say everybody can't come up here. Listen, you can come up here. If you're good enough, that's right. All artists, we bringing them up. So make sure you stay tuned to. Where is my sign at? That's coming up. Let's get it. Welcome to Chuckle and Chat. It's your boy MontDadTv here, where we come for the chuckles and we leave after the chats, huh? We'll be chatting about some ways to get money on this platform, huh? Some ways to get to that American dream, huh? Listen, I know everybody just wants to be a rapper. Everybody wants to be in the entertainment world, you know, sports, something of that nature. But we'll be grabbing other people, you know, people that might be working their way up to the top of the top, you know, the highest class. But how? That's all we see on YouTube. Real estate. But how? Guess who I brought today? Mr. Courtney Williams. What's up, man? What's up, bro? You in real estate or are you a bodybuilder? Which one we doing,
brother? A little
brother?
bit of both.
Okay. Nice to see you, brother. Nice to see you. Well, I'm going to get right into it. Okay. I'm going to talk to you like I don't know nothing. I'm going to be, because the viewers out there don't know nothing, you know?
I told you everything already.
All right, you did. What is real estate? Like when they say get into real estate, buy a house and flip it, what do they mean by that, first of all? What does that even mean?
I mean, real estate is a lot of things. There's different avenues, just like the medical field. How you have doctors, nurses, different. Same thing with real estate. You have wholesalers, you got regular end users, which are people that just buy the homes, forever homes, starter homes. You can do a lot of things with real estate, especially rental units too.
Okay. So I guess can we get into those different things, right?
Okay.
Which one is best? Do we get into the wholesale, or I guess it's one of those everything works for however?
Yeah, different strokes for different folks. So whatever works best for you, that's what you do. Like, say personally, you want to have a little bit of passive income, right? Mm-hmm. So an option you could take is get a multifamily, and then you could steamroll that into a duplex. And by steamroll,
okay, yes.
I mean, you take the equity that you have in that current property and use it towards your closing costs and your down payment for that next investment.
And the equity, that's basically what the property's worth? No.
So the equity is basically the value that's in the property that you can use as actual cash. Think of it as a credit card that you're using to buy another house. So say you buy a $500K home, and then you built up about $100K worth of equity. You could use 80% of that towards anything you want to do in terms of buying a new, let's say, jet ski, TV for the home, renovate your property, or buy a new property. Those are some options you could do with the money.
So how do we get to that 100K equity? Like, say, basically like this, right? Mm-hmm. Viewer goes, hey, let's say FHA loan. You can explain what the FHA loan first, and then I'll do a question with the FHA loan.
Yeah, so the FHA loan is basically a first-time home buyers program, which gives you the cheapest percentage on a down payment possible, which is 3.5%.
Okay.
Right? So what I typically tell my clients with the lenders that I use, they charge 4%. Lenders can typically charge anywhere from 4 to 6% in closing costs. Okay. The ones I work with extensively, they charge the bare minimum 4% to make sure that the buyers can save some money on whatever purchase they make. So typically, I like to tell people it's 7.5% to really own a property, which is 3.5 for the down payment, and then 4% for the closing costs. Okay. But with a concession, you can steamroll that and not come out of pocket for the closing costs, or come out at a cheaper percentage.
So what's a concession?
Okay, so a concession is basically where the buyer of the property or the transaction, if you want to call it that, they ask the seller for a credit. The seller pays for whatever the buyer's closing costs would be, and then the buyer would just get the property at just the down payment. So, for example, right? So, say you buy this house for $500,000, right? So, let's say your closing costs. You know, I'm good at math, but not that good. So, let me bring out the calculator. So
you're saying home is, before you get the math though, just to review for everybody, the home is $500,000. We're going in saying, hey, I need the FHA, and they're gonna tell us you have to put down 3.5% for the down payment.
Yes.
And you may have to put another 3 to 4% down for the closing.
4% down minimum.
4% minimum for the closing, which is a guarantee. You got to pay for
it. You have to pay for that.
All right, so we'll say we're just going in, 7%.
7.5%.
We're gonna, after like $500,000 house, we just gotta make sure we got 7.5% of that.
Yes.
What's the math on that? Let the people know.
Let the people know, got you.
Let
so
them know they gotta come with.
For the 3.5%, I know that math. You do 3.5% times 500,000. That gives you, right, 17,500.
So I gotta at least have $17,500 just for the down payment of a $500,000 house.
Yes, you do.
And is it the average homes right now around that $500,000?
The average homes is around $550 to $650.
Damn, last time I looked at
real
3
estate,
or 4 years ago, and it was like $350, $400.
It depends on where you are. But real estate is one of those things where the value will always go up no matter what.
All right, so average $500. All right, so $17,500. That's my down payment. That's in the savings. That's in the savings right now.
Yes.
Now you're saying I also got to come up basically with another 17.
Another 4%. So
what's that?
What you
20,
do? Typically.
So I'm coming in with.
So if you take the same 500,000 and you just say simply 7.5%.
37,000. Yeah.
37,000. But I like to tell people have a little buffer window. So I would say come up exactly 40,000, I should say.
So if I want a $500,000 home, the bank is going to put up $460 basically.
Yes.
And all I have to do is put $40,000 of my own money.
Yes.
And they'll give me that house.
Correct.
Now, say if I only would you recommend this now? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, I just say if somebody only has $50,000 in their savings, would you recommend them now drop $40,000 out of that $50,000 to get the home? And if you do, I know it's what if their income is based on all of that? All right, cool. Now, $40,000. Now you got $10,000 left in their savings. Can you explain why that might be a good choice or a bad choice, depending on what the PMI is, which would be the insurance or payments, and I'm pretty sure they got to pay heat, light bill, all of that. Now, would you recommend someone who has $50,000 in savings to drop $40,000 to get a home, or would you say get an apartment? Because a lot of people are telling me they'd rather get an apartment than to get the home, only because of the monthly payments being a hassle after. So, what do you recommend?
What I recommend, do what's best for you, definitely. And also a big tip is mortgages will go down, rents will never go down. So whatever the rent cost is right now, we've seen that the rent is always trending upwards, while at the same time, mortgage is trending downwards. Mortgages are, think about it like this, 5 to 6%, right? Rent is 100% interest at all times. You're at the beck and call of the landlord at that point. So I recommend that if you can afford the home, get the home, stomach the payments for a little bit, then refinance, get a lower monthly payment, and then keep doing that. And what you could do to offset that is get a renter. Typically what people do is have an ADU, which is basically an apartment in the basement or turn in the garage.
That's when they rent their basement out of their home.
To offset your mortgage to make it a little bit cheaper for you.
So basically, we're looking at this. Let's throw some numbers and tell me if I'm wrong with this. Only because, I'm coming from beginning experience. $500,000 house. I'm coming with $40,000, right? $40,000, that's down payment, closing. Cool.
Also, there's other costs in the transaction.
That's what I was going to say. So say if I only have $50,000 in my name and I might make, let's just say, I only make $1,000 a week, $4,000 a month. Would you still recommend me get a home?
No, because what people typically do, they don't get the home alone. They typically get a cosigner for the home to increase their income and also offset their DTI.
Debt to income.
Correct. The debt to income is the biggest factor because to get a loan now, for an FHA loan, let's say your debt to income is the minimum is 47%. Sometimes, depending on the bank, they might stretch it to 49%, but they try to make sure that the income to debt is really 2 to 1, just to make sure that they're not house poor.